Welcome to Ask When Everyone. Today I have Alex. I had the pleasure of meeting Alex on Clubhouse, which is now a universal app working both on Android and iPhone. Originally it was only for iPhone, but now they've switched it to Android. So I had the pleasure of meeting Alex and chatting, and we were actually chatting in the podcasting space. But unbeknownst to me, he does a lot of CPR training, AED, which is defibrillators training. So we're going to get an education on all that, and we're going to let Alex take it away.
Well, thank you so much for letting me be on and talk about what I do for a living. And I've worked in all sorts of different communities, and the disabled community is just one, and everybody has one thing in common. We have to have a plan.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what we're doing, we have to have a plan.
Yeah.
And when we talk about CPR or first aid or even any of this type of stuff, it's about making sure we have that plan.
Yeah.
And we have when we do our public classes, they're usually about about almost 3 hours. And people think, oh, CPR is really easy. It is very easy.
No,
it's not that. It's that it's about repetition.
It is. It is. And you remind me, Alex, I have to go get my CPR certification again, my own certification.
Oh, well, we got, you can't, you have to talk the talk and walk the walk, young lady.
Yes. Yes. Because I took it into high school and then I need to go get it again because I'm in Arizona now, and God knows I can they modified it for me. I admit that they modified it for me, but at least I know how to do it and guide someone who's stronger than me physically on how to do it. Because the reason why I say this, people, is because I live in a community of the disabled. I'm also on a handicapped bus, which that can lead to a whole host of injuries. So at least I know how to do it, and I'm going to look it up over the weekend and call them and say, look, I'm disabled, help me do this, or help me figure it out. Because I just feel guilty sitting on the public transportation, not knowing how to do it or not knowing how to pass that information along.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if all the people in the country were as passionate about you, passionate about this subject as you are, I would be a millionaire, 10 times more. It's a good thing we're recording this because, if you find value in this and you're going to take the time knowing that you are, you have limitations, it's okay. Because the fact is, what we're doing is we're trying to make sure that we have a plan. Now, there's a couple things that I do want to talk about when we talk about CPR and first aid, and that's knowing how to call 911. And I say that because the fact is, when you call 911, if you have a cell phone, you can just go Siri, call 911, or whatever an Android user uses.
Yeah.
And you want to tell them your name and the location, how many people are involved, and what you're doing. And you never want to hang up until they hang up. And that's always a challenge. And especially if you are in a situation where there are some issues, you want to make sure that you tell them that. I can't do this, I can do that, they can move this, they can move that.
Or, you guys, I'm showing this on screen. You guys can't see this, but I'll get one of these. It's a medical call button, and I have one. I should wear it more often. Yes, I need to wear it more often. Shame on me. But I do carry my cell phone, but that doesn't always work.
Right.
That doesn't always work. So you need to either get a medical call button, or you need to have the sequencing to call 911.
Or even having like an iWatch. There's a lot of great tools out there that you can use. And I think it's a great time to, years ago, we just didn't have all these tools. And I think that's what's really amazing about this particular time. Someone that has challenges has many options and can be mobile. I mean, the fact that it took us a while to have this conversation because you're so darn busy, I think is amazing.
Yeah.
I say that no. I mean, I know you're pretty amazing, but as someone like me working with you, it's pretty amazing that we had to reschedule, not because of my schedule, but you had too much to do
Yeah.
because you're out and about, and I love it. I love every second of it.
I'm out. And a lot of these new technologies, of course, I have the newest iWatch because I wanted it. Now I have the newest iPhone, and with the newest iPhone, if you get in a car crash, it will detect that you're in the crash, even though you can't reach your phone.
Right.
So technology is amazing.
It is amazing. And, there are a couple of things that I did want to point out, because when we talked, you wanted to make sure that we covered. And the first thing is, you call and you start doing help, and you want to make sure that scene is safe. So you want to look around,
Yeah.
and you want to try to put them on a flat surface if you can.
Yeah. In my case, have someone help me I would be lead, because most people, and I tell you this, most people freak out when they see a car accident or they want to stop and look, or most people freak out when they see a person lying on the ground. And I would be, just to give you an example, I would be lead. I would get someone stronger than me physically to help me out, but I would at least stay with the person. I would at least call 911 on their behalf.
Right. And I think, everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And I know you know this, but it's about putting people in positions to be successful.
Yes.
We all get scared. But you know what? If you have the knowledge, but you don't have the physical ability to do it, that's a great resource.
Yeah.
And I hope that your listeners that understand it doesn't matter your age or your physical abilities or non-abilities. It's about what you can bring to the table to help that person.
Exactly.
And everybody can bring something different.
Exactly. And that's why I'm going to get my CPR certification in Arizona. Yes, people, I'm going to get it soon, because I need to know, even though I'm not strong enough to do CPR, I need to know how to lead someone in CPR just in case.
Exactly. It's just in case.
Just in case someone falls over on and is sitting next to me on the bus. Just in case someone falls over from heat stroke, because it's a million degrees down here in the summers. It gets
I understand. I mean,
100 degrees. And so I need to know. I've been thinking about that a lot lately because of I'm on public transportation. I'm bouncing around, and I just want to know, for peace of mind, that I could lead someone in CPR. Because
now, before we get into all that, I do want to talk one thing. We always want to talk about the legal concerns. You always want to consent, and everybody's worried about getting sued. And
Yeah.
the one good thing is we have what's called the Good Samaritan law.
Yes.
And not every state has the same exact law, because not every state is different. But right before the show, we looked up Arizona, and it says the Good Samaritan law is a general defined by one that limits the liability of licensed doctors, nurses who voluntarily render care at the scene of an accident.
Yeah.
So what does that mean in layman's terms? As long as you stay within the bounds of what you're taught, you're going to be covered.
Yeah.
If you had a dislocated shoulder, I always use this in my class, and somebody has a dislocated shoulder and you know how to pop it back in and you hurt them and you're not
That's
trained,
not good.
that's on you.
That's,
But
yeah.
if you do a couple extra compressions or you wrap somebody a little too tight, that's not out of the scope of the Good Samaritan.
No. And no, if you can lead someone in CPR, that's even better, and call 911 and stay with them until help arrives.
Right. Absolutely. And you're, the special needs community, if that's the right term,
Yep.
Is used to having modifications.
Oh, yes, we are.
But the problem is the non-disabled community doesn't always know how to adapt to that.
No.
And I know that from firsthand experience. I used to work for the Red Cross, and I had a youth program, and we had the only Red Cross club that was for a special needs school in the country.
I love it. I love it.
And those kids did a whole bunch of different things for us. But, we knew what their limitations were.
Yeah.
And we worked around that. And, being responsible, it's not any age and it's not any type of thing. It's just being responsible.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're trying to be such a torchbearer for this, I know there's going to be some people out there that are going to end up, whether you get certified or not, if you can't do those skills, all I care that you do as an instructor is that you call 911 and you just press on the chest. And when we press on the chest, we try to use the heel of our hand right in the center of the breastbone. And again, they say right between the nipples.
Yeah.
But my point being is this: you want to press hard enough because your heart is as big as a fist.
Yeah.
Now, what we're talking about right here is not a first aid and CPR class. You need to actually go and do it with an instructor. But we're just talking about what to do. And I think if you can just use that palm of your hand and put it right in the center of the chest, you want to try to bear the clothes. So you want to bear the chest. There's no modesty in this. And you keep pressing until help arrives. You have done more for that person than anything else.
Yes.
Because you're trying to get that oxygenated blood to the brain.
That's why I'm going to get my CPR certification and do that in the next couple months there, because I would feel guilty if I would feel guilty if I witnessed something and I just wanted to leave that person. You guys know me, those of you who know me personally would know that I would stay to the best of my abilities. And that's why I want to go get it, because I want to see what they can teach me and try and get me certified so I know what is out there.
Well, I think also, even if, and I really want to say this, because even if you can't get certified because of physical abilities, that doesn't mean that you don't know the knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's something that you keep saying that I love.
Yeah.
Because I love teaching people like you.
Yeah.
Because of that reason. Because even if I can give you a card, who cares? You have the knowledge. And it's about knowledge. And you know better than anybody, knowledge is power.
Yeah. Knowledge is definitely power. And so basically what I am going to do you guys maybe after this podcast, I'm gonna look it up because I want, I will call places on Monday and say, look, I'm disabled, but I want to get a CPR class in me just so I know the knowledge and see what they say. No hurt in asking, people. No hurt in asking.
Well,
All I
I'm
can
gonna tell
say
you
is
now.
no.
I'm gonna give you one better. When you call them, and you can go on redcross.org, you can go on the American Heart site,
Okay.
you can just Google CPR class nearest to me.
Okay.
Ask them, and you say either, I may not be physically able to do it, but I'd like to audit the class or just learn hands-only CPR.
Okay.
And I think and I know your community has probably done this before, but as an instructor, it's helpful to me knowing that you're coming than to just surprise someone.
Yes. Yes. No, I would call one of them and say, look, I'm disabled, but I want to learn the knowledge.
And that's what this is about. I think that's a fair thing. And I can't wait for you to post when you get your certificate on your Instagram or your social media. Just make sure, with that smiling face that you have, and hopefully with that alert thing around your neck that you're supposed to have, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And it's just going to show you that this is what it's all about. It's about the knowledge. Now, one of the things that people always get a little nervous about, and they talk about this in the class, is the AED. And it stands for automatic external defibrillator. And I want to just explain what it does if we have the time, so you understand why it's so important. Okay.
Yeah.
So your heart's as big as a fist. And what is happening is your heart is fibrillating. It's quivering. It's beating so fast that it can't push out blood. Now, if somebody has a pacemaker or a defibrillator, because some of your listeners may have that, you're still going to put this thing on them because it's clearly not working. So what this is going to happen is you're going to turn it on, and you're going to take the pads, and you're going to put the pads where they go. So one goes below the right clavicle, that the shoulder, your clavicle, and the other goes at the bottom of your ribs. Now, if they're close, that's okay, but you want to have at least an inch in between. Now, I realize this is really hard over a podcast to explain, but you can go on a half a dozen sites and Google this if you're really that interested.
And now, what if I'm on, and we'll get into this showing later why, there's a specific reason why I'm on and do not resuscitate. And so on my fridge, when the paramedics come in, I have a do not resuscitate, the big orange piece of paper saying don't resuscitate when she doesn't want it. And I will explain why. I will not pass away of CP. I will pass away of something underlying of CP. And I would rather not have medical stuff attached to me. My dad went into cardiac arrest and he did not make it. They didn't even take him to the hospital to resuscitate him. And since that time, I said, no way, no how will I get resuscitated. Now, and I will put this in my medical files somewhere, but if a person sees that, does that mean I am presuming that they can't use the AED on me?
Okay, so a do not resuscitate order is a medical order that's written by a doctor. It's a prescription. Okay, it's to instruct people, healthcare providers, to not do CPR.
Yeah,
If the patient has stopped breathing, or if the patient's heart has stopped. Now, in a DNR, if it is a valid DNR, we are not going to be using the AED.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Now, DNRs or end of life instructions vary. There's as many colors as there are different variations.
yeah,
You know, people want certain things, but they don't want other things. Now, I can't stress enough to you the one thing that I said that's important. It's a medical order written by a doctor. It's a prescription.
yeah,
That's what a true do not resuscitate order is, or a DNR is. And anybody can have one. It's just that you need to make sure what that is. Now, what is considered resuscitation? CPR is obviously the simple one, but no mouth to mouth or any type of pressing on the chest. Electrical shock to restart the heart, which that's the AED.
yep,
Breathing tubes to open up the airway, or medication.
yeah,
That all those things are what is considered a resuscitation.
yep,
So what you're saying with that is you don't want any of that,
nope,
and that's okay. That's your choice. And and but I will say this, the AED, all of our classes that I teach, they all have the AED included with them, because if they don't have a do not resuscitate order, you've given them the best chance of survival. Because after 4 minutes, when you start losing brain cells,
yeah,
and that's what we're trying to avoid. So you look at someone, and I don't know if you're familiar with this, the Damar Hamlin, the
yeah,
player that went down in the
yeah,
Monday Night Football.
yeah,
He he was like the perfect storm, because he wasn't that he went into cardiac arrest, but he was an athlete. He was healthy. It was witnessed. The AED got in there as quickly as possible, and he was really lucky. That's why he survived. Not people aren't always that lucky, and that's why, one of the reasons I came on here, whether you're a special needs or you are non-special needs, it doesn't really matter. Everybody, because only 30% of the country is CPR certified.
I'll make
And
that 31 soon.
absolutely, and hopefully
Yeah,
that's what we're doing. I mean, I train over, what is it? I train over 500 people a year in the higher level CPR, and I train almost double that in community CPR and first aid.
yeah,
So the people that are getting new babies, to people that need it for their work, to the people that want it. And I'm very blessed. I have a job that I love doing.
yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
And so you guys, you're going to have to look up your own CPR classes. I know I'm gonna look up mine in Arizona because that's just me. Even though I don't want it, I want the knowledge to to be able to lead someone in doing it, because me, I feel guilty if I see a person a person slumps over and the dialogue doesn't know what to do, or the next person gets freaked out, or it doesn't know. So just as a human kindness thing, I'm going to call the Red Cross of Arizona and say I'm disabled, but I want to learn CPR.
And one thing that you can also do, if again, for your listeners, make sure you can go to redcross.org, and you can put that in the show notes if you want to, or the American Heart Association has their own course finder as well.
Yeah.
And you can audit the class or whatever. I do want to tell you one little story that really kind of resonates with what I do. So in all my classes, I give out keychain mask.
Yeah,
And I do that because I tell people, if you use it, give me a call, give you a new one. At least you have a tool.
yeah,
So, and I tell people, even if you don't use it, if it prompts you to do something, it's done its job. So a couple of months ago, I get a phone call from somebody, and they're like, I want to thank you. I'm like, for what? I took your class a couple of years ago, and my daughter swallowed a rock, and I ended up doing abdominal thrusts, or otherwise known as the Heimlich maneuver, and I saved her life. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing.
yeah,
Then I got a phone call a couple of weeks ago where the mask, the keychain mask, was empty. The guy was working at Old Navy, and someone went down and he started CPR. Now, regardless of what the outcome was, it doesn't matter. It's that he acted. And I know abilities or mobility is a big thing for your community.
yeah,
And there's three types of people: the people that do, the people that freeze, and the people that run. Now, the people that do are like you're going to get right in there as much as you can. The people that run, they're great. You know why? Because they're going to go get help. It's the people that freeze. And those are the people that you and I are trying to talk to right now.
yeah.
And we're trying to tell them, you got to do something. And hopefully they feel comfortable with that.
Be the people that want to help, or be the people that run to go get help. Don't be, and I'll say this loud and clear, don't be the bystander that just stands at the edge of the scene gawking because an accident happened. That drives me bananas when people do that on the highway, and people do that when they're stuck in traffic. Do not do that. You either run to go get help, or you either step in and do something. And I'm the type that would step in and do something. So I just want to make it clear to you guys that yes, I'm going to take Arizona CPR class, tell them that I have a disability, and say, look, I may not be able to do all the motions, but I'm here and willing to learn.
Well, I'm going to hold you to it because I'll make sure that we do it. I know we
Exactly.
don't have a lot of time, but I just want to thank you for taking the time to reach out to me,
You are
because
welcome.
you know what? You are so fired up about this, and it really makes my heart bigger, because I need more people like you out there. I
Yeah,
really
well,
do. And
yeah,
if there's any way that I can help you or your community, please let me know, because
yeah.
I think that you're really a beacon for people that are either disabled or non-disabled. I'm tired. I need to go do stuff because I can't keep up with you. So I think
Well, yeah, well, that's good, true. But
you're making me feel like I got to go do something. You're so darn busy.
yeah, but that's okay. But I am, and I know it's going to be an all-day thing. I am excited to see what the wind class has to offer, and I'm excited to see what the future holds, and I'm excited to be able to say, even if I don't have the CPO card, I'm excited to say that I do have the knowledge.
And that's what it's all about. It's about that plan, like you're getting dressed, like what are you going to do with an emergency? And if you go, I mean, I have a whole bunch of resources on our website. I know you're going to put it on probably in the show
Yep,
notes and everything else.
yep.
And please, anybody is more than welcome to reach out. We're in the New York, New Jersey area, but I've got instructors all over the place. And if I don't have somebody, we can always try to, like you said, go
Okay.
to or
And I'll talk to you offline about this because um, I am concocting a plan for June. And I'll talk to you offline about that because maybe we can have at least a meetup and at least do something because this is something near and dear to my heart because of my dad. And the
I
reason
totally understand.
why I don't want titles on me, you guys, is because of my dad. They had trouble. They worked on him for 2 hours, I've been told, and they had trouble getting his heart restored. Granted, he had stage 4 cancer, so he was one sick puppy. But this is something that's been near and dear to my heart since he died, and that was only in 2019. That at least I know the knowledge of what I'm getting into.
Well, I'm just, I hope that instructor is ready for you because you are ready.
I
And
am ready. And
so,
I appreciate the time, Alex. And I
so
hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. Thanks, you guys. Bye, you guys.